We're going to reorder slightly the remainder of our reports to accommodate a time schedule. So, President Morales, will you give the report of the alumni? Thanks.
Thank you, Chair Eisen. And yes, you have called me out. I'm the one needing to be accommodated. I'll be on a plane in about an hour and a half, so I appreciate it. From the Alumni Council, we have two brief updates, and then it'll be my pleasure to introduce our fantastic alumni guest speaker. But before I do that, first on the graduation initiative, thanks to Dr. Blanchard and his team for our invitation to participate in last month's graduation symposium. The bad news was that I got some terrible food poisoning and couldn't make it, but the good news was that immediate past President Kristen Krellin was able to be there to share her story. Kristen, as many of you know, started as a freshman at San Diego State, ended up dropping out because of class unavailability, and ended up finishing her degree at night at Fullerton. So she really saw the whole spectrum of why we're doing all this work. We also were able to share the Alumni Relations Toolkit with the campus leaders in attendance, and we have a website that anybody can find that on easily. I want to mention that we definitely enjoyed Dr. Denise Beverly's presentation yesterday on basic needs, and we're working with her closely as we prepare the content for our March meeting at Cal Maritime. That meeting will focus on the ways that alumni can contribute to campus efforts to address students' basic needs. Also wanted to take a moment and thank Kathleen Chavira and Garrett Ashley for the advocacy training day that occurred last month. We're very happy to have immediate past President Dia Poole to participate in that. It's always a great opportunity to learn how to advocate and how to prepare our alumni leadership to engage next year when we have some serious asks. Thank you to Kathleen, and as she knows, we get together quite often in Sacramento. We'll be working really hard to be a part of this. All the alumni want to help, and many of us have connections in Sacramento and locally. So the ways we can best plug in will be taking a cue from Kathleen. So thank you for that. So without further ado, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you our alumni guest speaker. As everybody knows, it's Veterans Day this Friday. And so as such, we are so pleased to have Elliot Powell, Captain U.S. Navy retired, who spent 26 years in the Navy as a surface warfare officer, a ship captain, and director of the White House Situation Room. So he was the first African-American to hold this post, and he oversaw the 24/7 operation of the President's Operations Center and participated in over 50 state trips as the NSA's representative from 1999 to 2001 during the Clinton and Bush presidencies. This is where it gets real interesting, though. After retiring, he responded to his second calling and went to college again to earn his teaching credential at Cal State San Marcos. He was named the Outstanding Graduate for the College of Education, Health, and Human Services in 2014, and last year was recognized as his school's Teacher of the Year. So he has made the transition from surface warrior to educator and is proud to now be known as Elliot Powell, Middle School Teacher, San Marcos Middle School. We are very honored to have you with us today, Captain Powell. Please take a few minutes and share your CSU story.
Thank you. Good morning, Chancellor White, Chair Eisen, trustees, and other distinguished guests in attendance. And thank you, Manolo, for the great introduction and for the opportunity to speak today. From the very first day I earned my commission as an officer in the United States Navy, professionalism was the cornerstone of what I did. Whether it was commanding naval warships or directing operations in the White House Situation Room, professionalism was the coin of the realm. When I decided to make the journey into education, one of my biggest concerns was whether I would be able to attain the level of professionalism required to be an effective teacher. I knew I could lead, but education is much more than just leadership. Fortunately for me, the wonderful instructors at Cal State San Marcos Middle Level Program gave me the professionalism and the tools I would need to be an effective teacher. The tools that they gave me helped me construct lessons that engage my students, created an environment in my classroom where students feel safe to learn, reach all types of learners, and address the special needs my students might have, and be an effective colleague to my fellow teachers and administrators at my school. As a result, I get to help my students set goals and dream dreams, share my experiences with them, and constantly remind them that education equals options, and options result in opportunities. Because of Cal State San Marcos, every day I get the privilege to not only teach my students about history, but help them with life and show them what it takes to be good citizens. Over these past years, I've been able to help my students deal with divorce, death, or thoughts of hurting themselves. I get to see those wonderful light bulb moments when they finally get it. or the joy of watching a young boy or girl see what they can accomplish if they're willing to abandon mediocrity and embrace excellence. I'm especially proud of the role I get to play as my school's Model United Nations and Junior ROTC Club advisor. Not only is my school the only middle school in my district that offers these clubs to their students, it gives me a chance to show my students worlds that they've never seen and how they can be a part of them. So, in case you can't tell, I'm having the time of my life. To be totally honest, I have a secret weapon. I can't say enough about the support I receive from my beautiful and amazing wife, Veranda. A superstar in her own right, she retired from government service 3 years ago. A budding entrepreneur, she started her own business helping organizations establish lactation rooms for nursing moms. In fact, she's the reason why we're here. I told Veranda when I retired from the Navy that after enduring all the moves we made during my career, over 12 separate moves, and I was only there for 2 of them, she could tell me when she was ready to retire and where she wanted us to live. She did, and we're here. Whether it's making sure my lunch or breakfast is ready, being a sounding board for the lessons I'll be teaching, or letting me have a little more time on the weekends to grade papers or plan lessons, she has definitely made the transition from being the world's best Navy wife to being the world's best teacher's wife. You see, some spouses tolerate their spouse's career. My wife embraced my Navy career then and my teaching career now. It's hard to believe I'm starting my 4th year of teaching, but I am. And I'm having a blast. Of course, there have been challenges. I have students who aren't reading or writing at grade level, many whose primary language isn't English, as well as a significant number of special needs students. However, my average class size has dropped from 34 to 30 students. I have new Chromebook computers, and this year I have 160 amazing 7th graders who are well on their way to making this an exceptional year. I still smile when I'm walking across campus in the morning or after school and hear my students shout, "Good morning, Mr. Powell," or "Good night, Mr. Powell." I miss them when we're not in class, and I worry about them when we're not in school. All in all, I'm living the dream yet again. I don't take it lightly that I found a second calling, and thanks to Cal State San Marcos, I get to, as a friend of mine's grandmother used to say, do as much as I can for as many as I can while I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Powell, for sharing your story, and thank you to Veranda. Nice. Thank you again for sharing your story, and thanks for Veranda for being here with us. Thank you for your service to our country. We are extremely proud to have you as part of the CSU family. Thank you, Chair Eisen. That concludes my report.
Thank you so very much, and thank you for that incredible story. We really appreciated that.